Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about money. We're talking about money, and we're talking about creator money. So I decided to dress up in my best creator money outfit, which means it, to me, looks like a finance. I kind of feel like I look like a finance bro. I got the sweater, all good apparel, by the way. Shop goodgoodgolf.com. Proud supporter of, well, I'm a proud supporter of them because they are a supporter of the channel. But anyway, I got the vest, I got the sweater, I got the little collar here, and I got the hat. This actually just happened to be what I was wearing this morning. I went and got a haircut, and then I realized I look like a finance bro, and I thought it was perfect for today's video where we are going to cover the top earning creators in YouTube golf for 2024. This is nerd stuff. This is the stuff I love. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so a couple things we're going to go over first. If you hop over to the screen here, we have two terms we're going to define really quick. Today we're going to be talking primarily about creator pay through the Google Partner Program. So for those of you who don't know, once you become a creator of 1,000 subscribers, and I think it's 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 365 days, you can apply to join the Google Partner Program. Basically, as long as your content is like advertiser friendly, there's a good chance they're going to accept you. Once they accept you, YouTube will start selling ads on your behalf, basically putting you into a pool of advertiser spending that can be placed in front of, in the middle of, and at the end of your videos with basically no effort from you. YouTube charges there's two different metrics that measure the fees for those advertisers. So the one that's going to the advertiser is the CPM, the cost per mile, which is essentially how much YouTube charges an advertiser per 1,000 views. So if Coca-Cola wants to advertise on a YouTube video, they might say, okay, for every 1,000 views your Coca-Cola ad gets, it's going to cost you, I don't know, $20 or something like that. Which actually that'd be very high for Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's probably paying like $5 because they're advertising probably to a really broad pool of people. But we're going to get into that in a second. The second number we're going to talk about today is RPM, revenue per. And that basically means the cut that the creator gets after YouTube takes their cut. So per 1,000 views, how much is the creator actually getting paid? This is how much YouTube is selling the ad space for, but then as a Google partner, we do get a cut of that. We don't have to do anything to get the ads other than be a partner with Google, but we will get a revenue share of that CPM. It's not a strict percentage. It's based on a large amount of factors that are constantly variable. And you might have a video where you're getting 60% of CPM. You might have a video where you're getting 40% of the CPM. It just kind of depends on a ton of different factors. But these are two numbers we're going to focus on today. The other thing I want to make very, very clear is that subscribers have absolutely nothing to do with how much you get paid on YouTube from Google for the most part. As a creator that's not like a super elite creator, like a normal, just everyday creator, your subscribers are not going to really have much of a, and by super elite, I mean like millions and millions and millions and millions of subscribers. There's a preferred ads program, but we're not going to talk about that today. You're not going to be influenced at all in your earning potential by your subscribers. Subscribers on YouTube are almost essentially a vanity metric. However, brands still usually allocate more spend to channels with higher subscribers. So for example, if a brand was to look at BustaJack with 224,000 subscribers, let's say theoretically though, they were still pulling the same amount of views as say Bryan Bros with 533,000 subscribers, even though Bryan Bros is pulling a lot more views. But let's just say they're pulling the same amount of views. BustaJack's getting 2 million, Bryan Bros is getting 2 million. I can almost guarantee you that every single big brand that wants to advertise with a channel would go to Bryan Bros first, purely because they look at the subscriber metric. There's a lot of people in those companies that don't really understand, it's not really a lack of understanding, I guess, but it's like subscribers also show that your channel's been around for a while, that you're kind of like, it's almost like investing with like an old blue chip stock versus like the new hot company coming up. That'd be, I guess, the way you could describe it. So like the more subscribers you have, the more blue chip, like reliable, theoretically your channel is. Whereas newer channels, which I'm not saying BustaJack's newer channel, but just theoretically, if they're pulling the same views with half the subscribers, they might be less likely to get sponsorship ad dollars. Now, this is not the ad dollars coming from YouTube. YouTube's pay, AdSense, which we're going to talk about today, has no effect by the subscribers, but I'm just explaining why subscribers are still like moderately important for a creator. It's because they do a lot of the times influence brand spending. Anyways, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at creators' YouTube revenue for the year 2024. Now, caveat, this is all obviously an estimation. I don't have back-end data for any of the channels we're going to talk about today other than their view numbers, but I don't have their actual CPMs and RPMs. I am going to be estimating. What we're going to do is we're going to round them to a number that I believe is a very accurate median to like high median number. So I did this about 7-8 months ago with Grant, and I think I did it with Rick and one other for earlier in the year. And we talked just about like their general monthly revenue. And I went a little lower knowing that the CPMs were higher. Since then, I've obviously, you guys know, I've started consulting, I've started working with a ton of top creators. I know what YouTube golf CPMs are, and I know how high they can get, but we're still going to stay kind of what I would consider reasonable today. So what we're going to go off of is a $50 CPM and a $25 RPM, meaning that I'm estimating that these channels on average would be getting about a $50. And I do think that's probably a little high, but trust me, there are videos that will go higher. I'd say the majority of videos might be gently lower than this. But again, last time I went really low. I think I did like a $30 or $40 CPM and only like a $15 or $20 RPM. So I'm going to show you more of like an earning potential today. What like these channels could probably make if all of their videos were max performing. I'm going to talk about those correlates in a second, but we're going to assign a $50 CPM and a $25 RPM just for easy sake. 50% goes to YouTube, 50% goes to the creator. So that would mean if a channel had 4.16 million views, we're going to divide it by 1,000 to get the total units of advertising sold, which in this case would be 4,160. And then you just multiply that by the CPM to see that YouTube is selling $200,000 in advertisements to a creator or to a brand through a creator's channel with 4.16 million views. And then the creator is getting paid $25 of that $50, which equates to exactly half, $104,000. So this is essentially how we're going to calculate these creator earnings. And again, I would say this is estimated earning potential. The reason why I say that is there's lots of variables that affect how much a channel is actually going to be earning. So if a channel, let's say, okay, here's Ben Hatton. Let's talk about Ben Hatton. If Ben Hatton posts a video that, let's see, does he have any real short videos? Yeah, like a 17-minute video, a what's in the bag video. I would bet the CPM, Antonio Brown, Joe Rogan, I was watching that in the car. Antonio Brown, Ben Hatton would probably, I would guess, a YouTube golf CPM on a 17-minute video would probably be somewhere around like maybe $15 to $20, and your RPM would maybe be between like $7 to $12. But where things get real interesting in the YouTube golf space is when you start getting in that like 40+ minute range, which Ben doesn't really have any 40+ minute videos. This one does. If you have a 40+ minute video, which a lot of YouTube golf videos, like if we just go look at Grant's channel, for example, which is obviously someone we're going to be talking about a lot today. A lot of his videos are over an hour, hour and 20, even some are 2 hours long. If videos of that length also have a really high AVD, average view duration, which means you're clicking on the video and you're watching it for a solid percentage of that video time, that video is going to get a much higher CPM assigned to it because people are staying on it longer, which is something YouTube wants. They're getting served more ads because you can put more ads in longer videos. And if people are watching through, that means they're getting served more ads. So that means the amount the creator is going to get paid is going to be higher. So you can see there's fluctuations, and that's why we're just going off an average. And this, I would argue that this is probably assuming that, like, you know, people are posting hour-plus long videos on average, which most of the creators we're going to talk about today, I would say, do, and that they also have really good to pretty good average view duration, which means they're holding their viewer for, you know, probably like 50% of the video, which I do think in YouTube golf it happens because there is such an interesting factor of like these people are, you know, doing this thing where like it really naturally does pay off at the end. What are they going to shoot? Who's going to win the match? Like, videos typically lead audiences to watching longer. So that's the CPMs and RPMs we're going to assign today. Now, let's just jump right into it. We're going to go one creator at a time. We're going to start with BustaJack. I felt like I picked what, 6 channels? Yeah, 6 channels here that kind of increase in performance, and I think are going to be interesting for you guys to kind of see the difference of. I wanted to start with BustaJack because I think in the past I've done this with channels that are like huge, and people have always been like, what is like the more like normal YouTube golf channel make? BustaJack, I would still say, is probably higher than normal. In the last 365 days, they had 12 million views. 12 million views, we're just going to go through, and we're going to do the math, equates to 12,000 saleable units of advertising at a $50 CPM. That would be $600,000 in advertising sales, which equates to $300,000 in Google advertising revenue that would be paid to BustaJack in 2024. Now, again, higher estimate. BustaJack, their videos, I'm pretty sure, aren't over that hour range usually. I think I actually have to go to their actual YouTube channel to confirm that, because ViewStats doesn't just show that. I'm pretty sure they're not over an hour. Now, a lot of them are getting close to an hour, but they're not over an hour. I think going over 40 minutes is good. Going over an hour is really good. They have a couple. So depending on their watch time, I would say that's probably a bit of a high estimate for BustaJack. Again, these numbers are going to be really relevant to like Bob Does Sports, Rick Shiels, especially Grant Horvat, even Good. But BustaJack maybe a little less. But I would say that $200,000 would probably be a low estimate, and $300,000 would probably be like a little bit of a high estimate. So probably somewhere in that ballpark is what I would estimate they made purely off YouTube advertising. Now, BustaJack has some brand partnerships. You can see right here, Tacoma. I'm pretty sure they have Roback as a clothing sponsorship. Brand partnerships get interesting. Direct brand partnerships, which means the creator is directly working with brand. For example, I'm sponsored by Good. I work directly with Good. So these are advertising dollars that the creator gets paid outside of what they're partnering with YouTube on. And that's advertising revenue we don't have to split with YouTube at all. We can put as many ads in our videos as we create, as we want, on top of what YouTube's going to put in, and that's fine. We don't have to give YouTube any of that money. So why I'm saying that is typically what you see as a CPM YouTube charging an advertiser is actually lower than what the creator can charge a brand directly. So if your industry, and we are, YouTube golf is one of, if not the highest paying industries within YouTube, well, one of the highest paying niches. The only one that probably be bigger would be like finance channels. And why that is, it's really simple, is number one, there is an incredible amount of market concentration with YouTube golf content, meaning we're creating content that is being consumed by an end user that is very predictable. It's being consumed by someone between the ages of 13 to 65, which sounds like a big range, and it is, but typically males, typically in North America or the UK, and typically of relative affluence that also play the game that they're watching. So golfers, typically also a highly affluential audience. So companies know that if they're putting an ad on Grant's channel, they're reaching a golfer that can likely or does likely spend, a few $1,000+ a year on the game of golf. So they know that if they put their advertising there, they're likely going to have a much bigger payback than say if they advertise on Mr. Beast's channel. Even though Mr. Beast reaches a huge audience, the vast 99% of his audience probably don't play golf because it's such a big audience. Whereas Grant's audience, nearly 100% of Grant's audience is going to play golf. So what happens then is you have a bunch of these companies, which also uniquely in our golf space have, very expensive products. Golf is not cheap, and lots of competition that then also have to compete for that advertising space in what is a relatively small pool of creators creating purely golf-specific content with a large audience, and that just drives up the advertising price. So Mr. Beast, for example, has talked many times about having like a $3 RPM. A low RPM in YouTube golf would be like $15, like on a short video. So it's just infinitely higher. We can make so much more money in such a smaller space, but this $50 CPM that YouTube might be charging, that's what YouTube is charging an advertiser. As a creator, you can almost always like 1.5 times that, if not double that. Like for sure, I've seen people charge brands $100 per 1,000 views, 100,000 view video. You can do the math. It's not out of the question because our advertising base is so hyper niche with so much competition. So I would say for what BustaJack's making off YouTube here from AdSense, just like all the creators we're going to talk about, you can probably like easily double that to what they're actually making off their brand partnerships, if not more than double that. Anyways, let's move on. Next channel we're going to talk about is Bryan Bros Golf. Now, allow me to just take a sip of my water because I realize we're already 15 minutes in. I haven't had any water. Oh, ASMR for you there. Okay, so Bryan Bros in the last year, nice big growth here for Bryan Bros. Over doubled their views, 36.81 million views, up 17.8 million views from the prior year. If we go down and look at Bryan Bros, 36,810 advertising units, which net out to 1.8 million in CPM sales. Basically, the amount that YouTube is charging advertisers for the advertisements being placed, which nets out to 920,000 in take-home revenue for Bryan Bros from YouTube. Now, again, probably a slightly high estimate. I do think Bryan Bros videos, especially as of late, with things like the Major Cut series, are definitely getting up to that higher advertising number. Like, I think the Major Cut series, I would be so shocked if it had less than a $50 CPM, because the watch time is going to be huge on that, and they're really long videos. But they also do put out a little bit shorter videos too. Yeah, kind of hovering around that hour mark. These $25 videos definitely don't make as much money, but the longer videos, pretty much anything over an hour. Again, the Major Cuts, those things get up to like 2 hours almost. Like, oh my goodness, 1 million views at 2 hours with probably over 50% watch time. Like, these videos are just cash cows. But anyways, that's what Bryan Bros is at. Bryan Bros, comment down below. No, you're not gonna. Don't comment down below. Don't comment down below. I know you're watching this video. Don't comment down below. You don't need to put yourself out there like that. These are just fun videos that, you know, I love making, because I think it's so fascinating. And a lot of people, I feel like they don't understand that these videos are very common throughout YouTube, these types of videos. But I just think it's like so cool too, because like there's so many like aspiring creators who maybe just like don't know what the actual potential is, even to like not be huge, right? Like in YouTube, a channel with 500,000 subscribers is not that crazy. Like, you can see their global subscriber ranking. So I mean, I guess it's pretty impressive, but top 2,000 channels in the world, which, you know, there's a lot of channels, but it's not like absolutely crazy. They're 210,000th in view rank, and that's the kind of money they're pulling. It's like, wow, that's so impressive. So hopefully this stuff also motivates you guys. A lot of you are just going to find it interesting, but there's going to be a few small bit of you that are like motivated by it. So anyways, we're going to take a bit of a jump here now. We're going to go up to Bob Does Sports. So these are all obviously in order. So we went with BustaJack, which had 12 million for the year. Bryan Bros 36. Now we're going to Bob Does Sports, which has double that of nearly 80 million views in the last 365 days. Small growth from the year prior, but really cool to see them holding on to that growth over last year. Side note, as an absolute YouTube nerd lover, consultant in ideation and packaging, this thumbnail, I love this thumbnail. Anyways, let's go over see Bob Does Sports. So with that near 80 million views, near 80,000 units of advertising sold, which nets out to nearly $4 million in advertising sold on Bob Does Sports channel from YouTube, which is nearly $2 million in revenue from AdSense to Bob Does Sports. Now, Bob Does Sports is an interesting one. Again, you have to just kind of guess at how much they're actually getting. This is all an estimation from YouTube, because they definitely have some videos that are probably over that CPM and RPM, but they definitely have videos that are under it. Their videos, I think, tend to be maybe gently longer when they have collabs, but their solo videos, you can see here, are all 40 minutes long. They also, the problem with Bob Does Sports is they do a lot of stuff that YouTube doesn't like. I don't know if they still swear or not. I think they do, but they definitely drink, which also knocks down your advertising. Like, for example, guaranteed Bob Does Sports makes less off YouTube than Good even with the same amount of views, because they're just not as advertiser friendly. They definitely have advertisers, but honestly, I think for Bob Does Sports, I probably have to change these metrics if I'm being honest. I'm going to keep them the same just for the earning potential purpose of this video. Like, if Bob Does Sports didn't swear and didn't drink, this is how much they would probably be making. But because they swear and drink, these numbers are probably, honestly, you could probably even half this. I wouldn't be surprised if their RPMs were like, you know, $10 to $12, because there is such an impact. It just shrinks your advertising pool. There's a lot of advertisers that still, to this day, don't want to be featured in videos with swearing or drinking or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't think they're as far as like Nelk Boys, where they make no money off YouTube. They probably make a good amount of money off YouTube, but I think they're definitely leaving money on the table with this. But how Bob Does Sports completely combats that is their brand partnerships. They have brands they own or are like have ownership stakes in, I'm sure, which is like Breezy Golf, obviously the Have a Day Drink. Those definitely are cash cows. I mean, Bob makes an ungodly amount of money off Cameo. Like, you can just take you can go look at his Cameo, see how many he's done. Sometimes he posts it, and then you can multiply it by the amount. Like, it's thousands of dollars a day, I'm pretty sure he's making off Cameos, which is just insane. And then you also have like the DraftKings partnership, like a ton of these huge lucrative brand deals. So anything they're losing in AdSense, they are like tripling up with brand deals. So they're definitely, I mean, they're I don't want to say they're close to 8 figures a year, But I mean, they're definitely probably mid to high seven figures comfortably with all their brand partnerships. That would be a guess. That's my guess. But anyways, let's move on. Grant Horvat, obviously, right now, the pretty much solo king of YouTube golf. His growth is insane. Obviously, he's doubled up his views from last year. Basically exactly where Bob Does Sports is, which is crazy because Bob Does Sports is such a huge channel, and Grant Horvat on his own now is pulling the same amount of views last year, more views than Bob Does Sports did. Guy's an absolute wagon. His numbers are very similar. 4 million in CPM and 2 million in RPM. Now, I would say this is probably much closer to Grant. In fact, maybe even lower. I would say Grant is probably the most advertiser-friendly / most profitable channel on YouTube Golf right now. Maybe next to Good, which we're going to get to in a second. Just because, again, super brand friendly, super long videos. There's just no reason why. And really, he's like, advertisers also have the ability to like request whose videos they want to be on. And I think Good and Grant are probably the two most requested by advertisers to be advertised on. Like anyone who wants to advertise through YouTube in the golf space, like not directly through the creator, but through like the YouTube partner program, they're probably asking for Grant and Good. And so that just drives up their fees even more. We're starting to get into channels now that could be part of like a premium partner program, getting exclusive higher value ad deals too. So I mean, this could honestly be like a low estimate for Grant, but that's again why, like, you know, it might be a bit of a high estimate for a channel like Bob Does Sports, but I think it's a low estimate for Grant. That's why it's an estimate. It's a middle value. It's kind of what I think a good average value is, to give you a sort of a understanding of where these guys could be at. But Grant absolutely killing it. Again, Grant, this is nowhere close to how much money he's making. Like I would say off platform, like through platform, but off platform, meaning like not through the partner program, through his own ad sales and brand deals and ownership stakes in companies now. I would say he's making probably the same amount, if not more, than Bob Does Sports is. Like it's insane. This guy is a golden boy YouTube golf right now. Let's move on. Rick Shiels, legacy creator. Much lower, or sorry, that's 28 days. What am I doing? 113 million views. I was like, I had these in the right order, didn't I? 113 million views. A little bit less than last year, but still 113 million views. This guy's a superhero. And a lot of you guys are like, oh, Rick's falling off. Rick's, because his views are kind of up, down a little bit, especially with the live stuff. Some of them are less now. You gotta remember, this guy has a catalog of videos with nearly 1 billion views. And his videos are such evergreen videos on his channel, like how to hit a driver, how to hit a draw, how to stop fatting your irons, that people just watch over the years, that just keep racking in money. So even if his like last 28-day views are, you know, 4 point, that's definitely lower than Grant's last 28-day views, but he's still way higher than Grant's annual views because he has all these evergreen videos that just keep pulling views. So if we scroll down and look at Rick Shiels for the last 365 days with 133,000 advertising units to be sold, 5.5 million and nearly 3 million in revenue RPMs. Being in the UK, I honestly don't know if it makes any difference because his audience is definitely still probably majority American, and you know, having an American audience is definitely the most profitable audience you can have on YouTube right now, just because advertising dollars are highest to American based audiences. But I don't think it's like a crazy drop off for UK based audiences. So I would say, again, this is probably like in the ballpark, just because he's very advertiser friendly. He has a lot of long videos. He does have a lot of short videos, but again, he's definitely, if there is a premium, some premium ad deals going on in the golf space, he definitely would have one. He's the most subscribed to channel in the golf space. So, and then the creme de la creme. Who made the most money in 2024? It's, well, I shouldn't say it's not even close. It is kind of close, but it's good. 125 million views last year. That's 11 million down from the year before. Still number one. Still, you know, over 10 million views above Rick's channel. And this is off way less evergreen content. This is because Good posts almost 2 to 3 times a week and pulls like at least 300,000 views a video. A lot of videos getting up closer to that million view mark. Like, their channel is still huge. Like, people want to comment stuff about them, but I mean, their channel is still huge. They're still growing. They're still a superpower in the space. And again, the fact that they are the most advertiser friendly, I would say there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that these RPMs and CPMs are very accurate, if not very low for them. And you can see the numbers, over 6 million in advertising sales by YouTube to $3 million in payout. But again, Good is like, they are such a brand. Like, Bob Does Sports is like this too, but they are such a brand. Like, they have the apparel company, which is completely separate from this. They obviously have like blue chip brand partnerships now. Like, they are owners of a TGL team. Like, these guys have definitely transcended just the YouTube golf space. And although they're still the biggest YouTube golf channel by annual views, they definitely are like beyond it for like the business side of it. Like the business side of it here is a small piece of the pie. But anyways, guys, that's it. I wanted to kind of go through this list. There's obviously tons of other creators that are doing great. I picked these ones because, you know, we kind of picked like a bit of a smaller channel. Again, one you could assimilate to like a ton of other, you know, of your favorite YouTube golf channels that aren't essentially Bryan Bros, Bob Sports, Bryan, Horvat, Shiels, or Good. But those are just, as far as the entertainment side of YouTube golf go, those are the biggest names. So I wanted to kind of walk up the list there. And again, just show this is so fascinating to me, but they are absolutely still killing it. Rick Shiels with the evergreen content. Again, I think this one will surprise a bunch of people. And again, I think these numbers will just surprise people. I think people who haven't really like thought about this stuff before don't know how high the CPMs, probably a lot of people don't even know what this stuff is. But if you even know like a general CPM for more like, you know, Mr. Beast style YouTube, you'll be shocked at how high these CPMs and RPMs can go in YouTube golf. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Fun little nerd out video. I absolutely love doing this kind of stuff. This is obviously one of my biggest passions, and why I, you know, make these types of videos is I'm an absolute creator nerd. I love the creator economy. I'm obsessed with the YouTube golf creator economy. Working with you guys, consulting, it's so much fun. So anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one.